From insane comebacks to impossible pole laps, Max Verstappen has done things on the track that don't seem real. And today we're counting down 25 times Max Verstappen proved he's on another level. Some of these moments will make you wonder how he even pulled them off, but number one will be the craziest of them all. So let's get straight into it. Austin 2018. Max started 18th after a bad qualifying, but he didn't waste time. By the end of the first lap, he was already up to 9th, making clean, aggressive moves. In the final laps, he found himself fighting two world champions, and in the end, he defended perfectly against Hamilton, holding on to second place. Miami 2023. Max Verstappen ruled the 2023 Miami Grand Prix. He started first and took off like a rocket. His car was quick, and he drove it perfectly. He built a big lead, finishing over 5 seconds ahead of everyone. One amazing moment was when he passed two cars, Kevin Magnussen and Charles Leclerc, in one smooth move. The track has tight turns and fast straights, but Max made it look simple. No one could get even close to him. China Grand Prix 2017. The 2017 China Grand Prix was wild for Max Verstappen. It rained hard, and he started way back in 16th place. When the race began, Max zoomed forward. He passed 9 cars in the first lap. The wet track was slippery, but he kept going, overtaking more drivers with bold moves. Monaco 2023. Monaco has never been an easy track for Red Bull, but Max Verstappen didn't care. In 2023, he pulled off one of the greatest qualifying laps ever seen. With just 1 lap left to improve his time, he was in 5th place, and Fernando Alonso had just set an incredible lap. It looked like Alonso had secured pole position. Max was 2/10 down by the second sector, which at Monaco should have been game over, but then he did something unbelievable. In the final sector, he found more than 2/10 of a second, pushing his car to the absolute limit, brushing the walls but never touching them. Somehow he snatched pole position by less than 1/10 of a second. Austria 2021 was Max Verstappen's way of showing the world what total domination looks like. From the moment qualifying started, it was clear he was in a league of his own. He took pole position with a perfect lap, then in the race, he led every single lap without anyone even getting close. That kind of performance in Formula 1 is called a Grand Slam. Pole position, leading every lap, fastest lap, and the race win. It was his first Grand Slam and he made it look effortless. Brazil 2014. This was when Max showed the world that his car control was something special. In tricky wet conditions, he lost the car coming out of the final corner. Most drivers would have crashed, but Max caught it with unbelievable reflexes. Everyone watching was stunned, but for Max, it was just another day at work. Singapore 2015. Singapore 2015 was a race that proved Max Verstappen wasn't just a rookie. His race started in disaster when his car stalled on the grid, dropping him a full lap behind before he even got going. But instead of giving up, he turned the race into a comeback story. On one of the toughest tracks in F1, where overtaking is nearly impossible, Max carved his way through the field. Silverstone 2020. Silverstone 2020 was supposed to be another easy win for Mercedes. They had been untouchable all season, a full second faster than anyone in qualifying. From the start, Max was in control. While Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas battled tire issues, Max pushed forward. He overtook Bottas, then Hamilton, and never looked back. In a car that was supposedly slower, he pulled away to win by 11 seconds. Silverstone 2016. From the moment this race started, he looked comfortable in the tricky conditions. While others tiptoed around, Max attacked. The highlight of the race came when he went heel-to-heel with Nico Rosberg's Mercedes. On lap 16, Max did something incredible. He overtook Rosberg on the outside through Beckett's, one of the fastest and most challenging corners at Silverstone. Monaco 2018. Overtaking on Monaco's tight streets is nearly impossible, but he made it look easy. He picked off drivers one by one, making precise, clean moves. His favorite spot was the chicane after the tunnel. Zet set drivers up perfectly before striking. He finished 9th after starting 20th, which at Monaco is almost as good as a podium. Japan 2023. In qualifying, he was nearly 6/10 ahead of second place, which in F1 terms is a lifetime. The way he handled the high-speed corners was something else. He described it as being on the limit but in control, and that's exactly how it looked. Austria 2019. Austria 2019 started as a nightmare for Max Verstappen. He qualified second, but a terrible start dropped him down to 7th. Most drivers would have given up on the win, but not Max. He started picking off cars one by one, charging back up the order. Red Bull's strategy was perfect. They pitted him later than his rivals, giving him fresher tires for the final laps. When he caught Charles Leclerc, it was a showdown for the win. On the first attempt, Leclerc held him off, but Max came back again, diving down the inside at turn 3. They touched, Leclerc ran wide and Max took the lead. Emilia 2021. Italy had never been kind to Max Verstappen, but that changed at Emilia in 2021. The weather was wild, rain at the start, a drying track, then more rain. These were the conditions where mistakes could cost everything. Max started third but got an incredible launch, going side by side with Hamilton into turn 1. He didn't back down, forcing his way into the lead. By the end, he had a 20-second lead over Hamilton. Germany 2019. The 2019 German Grand Prix was absolute chaos. The rain turned the track into an ice rink, catching out some of the best drivers. And while others made mistakes, Max stayed in control, picking off his rivals one by one. By the end, he not only won the race but also took the fastest lap. Spanish Grand Prix 2018. Max Verstappen won his first Formula 1 race at the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix. He was only 18, the youngest winner ever. He started in 4th place. Then on the first lap, the two Mercedes cars crashed into each other. This moved Max up to 2nd. Soon, he passed the leader, Kimi Räikkönen, and took 1st place. For 60 laps, Kimi tried to catch him, but Max stayed calm and didn't mess up. It was his first race with Red Bull after leaving Toro Rosso, as everyone was shocked. Japan 2022. Max Verstappen won his 2nd world title at the 2022 Japan Grand Prix. It was a wet race and he started first. He stayed ahead the whole time, driving carefully on the tricky track, his tires lasted well, and he didn't make mistakes. He finished 27 seconds ahead of 2nd place, his teammate Sergio Perez. This big win gave him the championship with 4 races left. Austin 2015. At just 18 years old, Max Verstappen showed the world he could fight with the best in Austin 2015. In a Toro Rosso that had no business running up front, he qualified inside the top 10 while his teammate was nowhere near him. After the race, he simply said this was the maximum we could achieve. Hungary 2022. This next race should have been a tough race for Max Verstappen. He started P10 after a bad qualifying, and Hungary is a track where overtaking is difficult. At one point, he even spun 360 degrees, yet still managed to stay ahead of the cars behind him. By the time the checkered flag fell, he had gone from P10 to P1, finishing 8 seconds clear of Hamilton. Emilia 2022. Max was unstoppable from start to finish. He won the sprint race with a bold move, but that was just a warm-up. On Sunday, the track was wet and tricky, but Max made it look easy. He pulled away while others struggled. As the track dried, he was on another level, setting lap times no one could match. He even lapped Hamilton, something you don't see often. By the end, he was 16 seconds ahead of his teammate. Brazil Grand Prix 2016. Next, the 2016 Brazil Grand Prix was insane for Max Verstappen. Rain poured down, making the track super dangerous. Max started 14th but flew up the order. He passed cars left and right, even pulling off a crazy move on Valtteri Bottas around 8 corners outside. Then he nearly spun out but saved it like a hero. He kept pushing and finished 3rd. Silverstone 2019. This was wheel-to-wheel racing at its finest. Max and Charles put on a battle that had fans on the edge of their seats. They pushed each other to the limit, sometimes even beyond. It was like watching two fighters trading punches, neither giving an inch. Lap after lap, they went side by side, inches apart, through some of the fastest corners in F1. Brazil 2021. The 2021 Brazil Grand Prix was a big battle between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Max started 2nd, but Lewis began in 10th because of a penalty. Lewis moved up fast and soon was right behind Max. On lap 48, Lewis tried to pass at turn 4, Max pushed hard to block him and both went off the track for a moment. The race officials didn't punish Max, which upset some people. A few laps later, Lewis got past and won the race. Saudi 2022. Max and Charles put on a battle that felt like a high-speed chess match. They went back and forth, using DRS strategically, defending hard but fair. Max learned from previous laps, timed his move perfectly, and finally got ahead at the right moment. But it wasn't over. Charles kept coming until the final corner, so Max had to be perfect to stay ahead. Asia 2015. In this next race, he had early issues, but recovered and started picking off experienced drivers. He finished 7th ahead of both Red Bulls, becoming the youngest driver to score F1 points. But he didn't care about records, he cared about results. He fought hard, made smart moves, and managed the car like a veteran. Abu Dhabi 2021. Max had a bad start, and for most of the race, Hamilton was in control. But Max never gave up. When the safety car came out, Red Bull took a risk, putting him on fresh soft tires, and one lap, everything on the line, Max made his move on Hamilton in turn 5 and never looked back. So that's it for today's episode. Don't forget to give this video a like, smash that subscribe button, and also ring that notification bell while you're down there.